Well, as you can see, Steve is mixing more cement. He's trying to put in the cornerstones. He's not just trying, he's actually doing it.
Well, you can't have a look, it's temporarily there.
Okay, I'm going to come down and check it out. Okay, let's follow the camera round. This is the garden area that you well know. So I'm going that way. I've just been picking a load of vegetables. So we can just have a quick glance at that before we go and see Steve. So there's my vegetables that I've just picked. Nice tomatoes, cucumber, peppers, plums that have fallen off a tree that's nearby. So anyway, let's go and follow and find out what Steve's doing. Obviously, we're walking around the olive grove at this moment in time. Oh, you can probably see Miss Butty as well. She is very contented. There she is. There's Button. Okay, this is probably not going to be very steady, folks, because I'm not the filmer really, Steve is. But, right, okay, that's Steve's van where he does the editing. And we're moving on down. You can see the barn in front of us. I say the barn, that's basically the barn pillars that you can actually see. And now I'm following to where Steve's working. There's those beautiful cornerstones that he's got ready to put in place. But obviously this is quite a delicate job. I mean, in fact, all the jobs that he's been doing on this construction that you've been watching has been delicate, but this one in particular is. So, oh, Mr. Hatman, he's put his hat on. He did have a hard.
It's a bit dusty at the moment.
You did have a hard hat on earlier, though, didn't you? Because you were concerned.
No.
No. Oh no, that's what he's supposed to do for me. Okay, right. Do you want to say something?
Well, I just put the third stone in. It's not fixed, obviously. It's balancing on top. Okay,
I'm going to have a little.
So I've just cut the angle.
Around.
So the angle's done. So this is that obtuse angle. And then this, I've got to treat this and it'll finish up like that. And same here, and a bit of the same here as well. It's a funny shaped stone on the whole. But
we can actually see 3 stones in there positioned.
See all this finishing, fine finishing on here.
Yeah, now is that what somebody's done?
Yeah,
this is long time ago.
This is all with an old chisel. You can see the width of the chisel they've used. Look, it's 1/2 inch. It's a 1/2 inch chisel.
Oh, yeah.
And they've just tap, and it's giving it a flat, kind of flat surface. But that's the kind of finish we're looking for, something like that.
And also this, we've been talking about this sort of last night. This is a tricky.
Don't lean back.
A tricky
right
bit.
On the grease.
Okay, and I want to lean back because I'll be right on the grease. But
so that stone is overhanging completely, with that one, that one, that one, that one, and that one. So there is probably 1/4 of a ton.
That's a heavy weight sitting there, isn't it?
And it's all hanging on a piece of wood.
I'm just going to go in and we can actually see the shape. This is the stone here that Steve is talking about. Look at how big that is. And it goes right the way in here. And in fact, you can see how far it goes in.
I couldn't help taking those out either.
No, you needed to.
They were loose, so that if in any event I'd have had to
But look at the hole.
Refinish
Look at the big hole that we had to create.
And now that's got to be all filled back up again with stones, building it back up.
So basically, this is the inside, and you can see that wonderful framework that Steve did, that you've all been watching over a period of time. And obviously, the girders were very significant that he had to do, because this is all holding this wall in position until he gets these big cornerstones in where you want them. Is that right, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's Steve. I'll leave you to it.
If I look like I'm hot, I am.
Is a bit hot. We have promised that we are going out for dinner at some friend's house tonight. Yeah. So I think work stops at about 4:30 today for you, but you did start early.
Yeah, something like that. Anyway, let me get on.
Get on. Bye. Subscribe Brambletye, by the way. Well, after visiting Steve there, which was quite exciting, seeing those cornerstones being put into position, we're going to go to the vegetable garden, which is kind of past there, just to sort of give you an idea. So now we're walking up There's been a lot of land that's had to get moved over a period of time because the land sloped, and we've been gradually moving it, trying to level out the olive grove. You can see some of the trees here at the moment. Just going to point out to you how lovely the olives are actually growing, considering that we haven't really had much water. There are obviously these tiny little black ones that not sure if the camera's picking that up. I think it might be. But these little black ones here, which are dry. But from what our friends are telling us, we've actually got quite a good crop at the moment. So hopefully, if it stays like this, this will be great. So let's move along and see what else I can show you. You can see the mountains. You might see them in the distance, actually. We're walking around. This is the olive trees here, heading towards the garden, the vegetable garden that Steve did for me some time ago. And you know that we extended it because we've got the newer looking wooden boxes. Now, we just pushed that gate and we're having a look. You can see the difference. There's the new boxes in comparison to the old boxes. And the new boxes will actually turn the same colour as the old ones, because it was just a mixture of old olive oil that we had and a mixture of vinegar, and I coated it, which is really, really good because it prevents the insects, keeps the wood good, and also it's non-toxic, and we are trying to keep everything organic as possible. So I'll give you a scan as to the vegetables that I picked. Tomatoes, courgettes, cucumbers, peppers, yellow peppers, chilies, red, green, and a great selection of plums that have got off a tree that's actually overhanging in this garden. So I'm just going to take you around the garden actually, just to give you a little idea of the kind of tomatoes and things that we've got. To make life a little easier, I've started to mark them up. So this is San Marzano Nano, and you can tell because of the shape. Look at the shape of that one. And this one doesn't actually grow that high. It grows roughly about 1 metre high. And they're not quite plum tomatoes, but they've got that plum shape. Moving on, we've got the giant beef tomatoes here. And there is a super one growing. Let's see, the sun is so bright, but I'm sure you can see that against my hand and also the one above. So they're fabulous. We're moving down gradually through the selection of our raised beds, and Steve actually likes a chili, so this is a habanero rosso, and there's a tiny little one there growing. I think you can just see it in the picture, that little red. So might be interesting maybe to take that to the friends tonight, because I know that our friends, he actually likes chilies, so it'd be quite good to test him on those chilies. That'd be really quite amusing. I wonder what reaction we might get. I've got yellow peppers growing here. I've just picked some of them, so these ones are quite small. And there we go, there's the name, Explorer Giallo. Giallo refers to yellow. I do know that much. And we've got the green peppers that are growing here. So I quite like to stuff the green peppers. They're not big enough at the moment, but they probably will be. So that's great. And then coming on, we've got the chili plants. We all love chilies. Steve and I definitely love chilies. But we've got the red chilies, and as Angela told me, I should be starting to pick them when they get red and then string them up and let them dry. Well, we've got 6 chili plants here, so I think by the end of the season we're going to have quite a lot of chilies. Moving you down to this section, I've got sort of 2 courgette areas. Now, you know how much Steve really likes courgettes. Well, maybe not. Well, he doesn't like the seeds in them, so I'm now starting to pick my courgettes quite small. So this is a nice sized courgette here. Leave him another day or so. I'm calling him a him. Leave him another day or so and then pick, because they're very sweet when they're small, and you can be adding them to salads, which is great. We can see here we've got the chard, and the chard has actually been fantastic. We use the chard for stir fries, and 2 small courgette plants there, which actually the ones that I planted are just, they were growing of their own accord. I don't know, maybe from a seed of last year. So whether we get anything from them, I don't know, but it's now got a little flower on there. Just look at that little baby flower. And I think behind it, you never know, maybe the start of something. So watch this space. Oh, just kicked. Anyway, it's probably worth showing you. I just kicked Button's subscribe bowl. So I kicked the water. So you could say I kicked the bucket, but not quite. Obviously these olive trees here are growing above where we've got the peppers as well. These peppers haven't grown so well, but then we still do have peppers hanging there, so that's quite good. Cucumbers almost finished. And now we're up to these wonderful Rosa Rosamunda tomatoes. Rosa Rosamunda tomatoes is a slightly different red colour, hence the rosa colour, and they have been fabulous with the burrata, the mozzarella and everything. So there's the proper name for them for anyone who might be interested. Coralagera Rosa Rosamunda. I haven't pronounced that correctly, I know probably, but I do try. Anyway, we had 8 plants of those and they are growing fabulous. A few strawberry plants and a couple of strawberries, although we did pick some this morning to have strawberries for breakfast. My rhubarb plant, remember I got a few funny situations with the rhubarb during the year. We had those rhubarb heads, those flower heads that were growing, but no sign of flower heads now, just some nice stalked rhubarb. Oh, by the way, melanzana. Melanzana being the little aubergines. And oh, look at that one. It's tiny. It is growing. I wonder whether I actually planted the melanzana a little bit late because obviously Angela, who we visited, their melanzanas were fabulous. So maybe next year plant the melanzana earlier for me. You're not actually seeing me in this video because I'm doing it on my phone. I'm having a little bit of an experiment. There's the lettuces. This is our, what, I think 3rd or 4th lot of lettuces, but they're still producing great lettuces. I tend just to pick like the odd leaf off each one rather than picking a whole head of lettuce. It seems to work for us better. And oh, you can probably see my writing, the word beetroot, because I did plant some beetroot seeds there. Now this is a fabulous tomato that we're going to see. This is Vesuviana Piccadilly. Now Vesuviana Piccadilly grows like, oh, and it's fallen off. They grow like bunches of grapes and they're very bright red in colour. And wonder whether they're called Vesuviana because they actually grow as tall as I am. I'm going to pick up that one that I dropped, give it a rub, and I'm actually going to eat it. I just love them. I just totally love them. So my voice might change slightly. I'm just showing you a little bit more of Vesuviana Piccadilly, and you can see the height. Somebody's probably going to tell me I should have been cutting little bits off the tomatoes. I do realise probably I should have been. You know, I'm still a novice and I'm trying my best, but you can see we are producing quite good crops. I'm actually amazed. In fact, I'm totally amazed how well we're doing. This is great. A few more courgette plants, some peppers that got planted a little late, so whether we get peppers from them, I don't know. We've got leeks here, which will be for later on in the season. All the onions and garlics got planted and they've all been picked and we are still using them. Now you can see some tomato plants here. Now these have got a little bit dry because they haven't really had the shade. And that's what we were talking about. If you look, if I can show you, I'm not really sure. Yes, there's the olive trees and the tomato plants where the Rosamunda are growing underneath those olive trees have been shaded by the heat because we've had so much hot weather and it's really helped. you're probably getting a slight overview of the garden now, which is great for you, the vegetable garden. And we've got the fence around. Those of you who've watched some of my gardening videos will probably realise that that's because we get the wild boar. And I did pick this morning, but there is still an abundance of little plums. I didn't eat that tomato, by the way. It's in my hand, ready to eat in a little while. Because this plum tree here overhangs. There it is. Plum tree that overhangs the garden. So every morning I can come and pick the plums. I'm just going to pick a few of those plums up now. And you might not know, but there's another tree that we've got, which is over there. Right, I'm shining the camera in the sun, so whether that's worked, I don't know. But that is a walnut tree, so we'll have some walnuts later. So hopefully you've liked the tour of the garden. I've explained the different types of tomatoes that we've got, and you know, you can use them in different ways. But also, if at the end of the season all I want to do is make more passata, maybe I'm going to have a go at making it myself. So I'm going to take an extra plum, put that there, plum there, tomatoes. I'm going to take my basket now. Say thank you for watching. I hope you've liked what you've seen. Love you to subscribe to our channel. You know that we're doing the restoration all ourselves. Steve's working very, very hard. I try to keep up with him, but I can't really do all the lifting and everything, but I do try and do the best that I can to help us. And obviously Button is our entertainment, which is fabulous. So subscribe hopefully to the channel, tick the like and ding the bell so you'll get to know more about what's happening at Brambletye. Well, I'm back to see what Steve's been up to during the day. Obviously I've been doing my jobs and he's been doing his. Well, if you can look here, there are some stones missing from the rows. So obviously we're getting along with it. So I'm just going to hop over that stone. And it's a bit quiet here at the minute because I think we're in the nearly 4:30 stage. So Steve's probably finished. So where on earth is he? Oh my goodness. If you can see. Hello, Steve, would you like to speak?
Yeah, I'm giving the tractor some TLC.
So let's have a look, see what he's been up to. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Bear with me while I get into position. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 stones. 5 in fact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5 stones in position. There was a bit of a quandary earlier. Steve sort of spoke to me. I don't know whether he's going to chat now, but I think he's pretty exhausted. He probably will. But the problem is the foundations, if you can remember, we had to dig down. How far do we have to dig down, Steve?
Well, 2 meters. But...
Right. Okay. This is pretty crucial, isn't it? We had to dig down about 2 meters. And if you can kind of see where I'm looking here, the foundations, this is what the foundations were. So this stone protrudes. And obviously these stones are huge and they're the foundations. So when we've been putting the cornerstones in, we've realised that those stones protrude and then the wall goes in. So there is at this moment in time a small ledge here. That's correct. But it's not going to be a ledge. Steve is going to do some intricate work, yet again, delicate, intricate work, and
I think you call it scalloping out, mine need digger.
Right, scalloping out. You can just probably see a pencil line there. That's that pencil line. And he is going to curve this. By the way, my nails look a little bit red. I've been dealing with tomatoes and plums. I just thought I'd mention that. So that will be the next part of the process. So while Steve's been doing that, you kind of roughly know that I've been dealing with tomatoes and plums, and I've made plum jam. So it's bye from me, bye from a rather shattered and tired Steve.
Yeah.
And I mean, really, Button's the only one that's had sleep all day nearly.
And food.
And food. Oh no, you have had food. I did feed you. So we're now going to get ready to go out. So bye from Brambletye.